guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a streaming movie review. I have watched Finch. Now Finch is a new Apple TV Plus movie which stars Tom Hanks, and it's basically him surviving. Imagine, how I imagine the film was, or how I thought the film was made up of three films really. Castaway, not just for Tom Hanks, but the fact that it's basically like, survival on your own, etc. It's also got a bit of like Martian vibes to it, which is the same type of thing, but like in the environment of like wasteland, and like you can't actually grow crops and stuff like that. So that's kind of the overlap there. And then also I thought it had some elements of Chappie, which is a great Sony film if you haven't seen it, starring Dev Patel and Hugh Jackman. All those three elements go into Finch. The problem with the world currently is that it's too hot. Imagine global warming or something. They didn't delve too deep into that, but basically if human flesh or any animal flesh or anything goes into the sun, it starts to burn your hand. The radiation just burns your hand. So he built like a radiation suit. Obviously then he had a dog with him as well, which is all over like the marketing material. And the idea is he's trying to look after this dog. We learned very, very early on really that Finch, who's actually played by Tom Hanks, is actually dying. We don't really know what of. He's just coughing up blood and he's just getting slower. He's just old in general. He's not eating as well either because he's just finding food for the dog mainly. So, we kind of know that he's dying, but ultimately he's trying to build a robot that is, I guess, gonna look after the dog. Like he's training the robot to like dog training manuals and books, etc. He's trying to train the robot to look after the dog when he's gone, because that's all he cares about. So it's a really like heartwarming story, and it started really, really good. And I just felt like the movie just progressively got worse and worse. It just got, I'm not sure what it was. The robot itself I thought was quite cool. Wasn't as fun as Chappie, but it was like robot-like, if that makes sense. It didn't really have like I didn't even know if there was like a voice person playing the robot. I think it visually looked really, really good. I think it had a good. It actually had eyes, etc. And it looked quite cool. I think they did a good job on how it looked. The movie started really, really well. I felt like it had good elements to begin with, a real good core story that it was developing on, and a good route that it could go down. But I felt for me it just got progressively worse as it got on. And I'm not going to spoil the movie for everyone in this review, but for me it just didn't live up, and then it just got to this basically just before the end of the movie, and then it just dropped even further. Like the actual ending just made it even worse for me. And yeah, it's just my personal opinion. There was some like effects and stuff. We had like they had earthquakes and stuff, but they were like cyclones, and it was hard to explain what it was. But like I said, the planet itself, the weather was uninhabitable really for humans and animals. So there was all this really adverse weather. He was originally in one city. He'd go and clear out like buildings and stuff, and get food or get supplies, very much similar to like I Am Legend, etc. So it had all that like survival type of stuff in there, which was really, really good. The sets were really good, and but it was a quiet movie. The only real dialogue in the film, especially until the robot was built, was between Tom Hanks and his dog, and then it was just Tom Hanks and the robot. So there was only one or two people talking to each other. But yeah, for this movie though, I'm going to rate this as 6.5 out of 10. It's just above average. It had a really good start and had a really good beginnings to the film, but it just didn't get much better from that. It got worse, as I said. I don't want to delve too much into why I thought it was worse, because I could spoil some things, especially like how I felt like the film ended, etc. But other than that, it's a really subpar movie. I always say to myself in these streaming movie reviews, did it feel like a TV movie? And I feel like the plot of this movie probably could have been better as a TV series. I feel like it could have been some sort of like 8-part series. We could have had a whole episode like actually going to find items, etc. I think it would have been better as a series. I think the pace of it would have allowed for that. But for me, just as a movie, it just didn't really fit. I'm not sure if Apple actually decided to create this movie, or if they just bought that movie from another studio, which was originally go to the cinema, which I know they did with Greyhound when they bought it off Sony, I believe. So they may have done that. It just doesn't seem to be, especially on Apple, I've seen all high standard stuff. Things like The Morning Show, things like Foundation is really good, Ted Lasso. But this just seems to be really subpar for Apple's premium, I say premium streaming service. So yeah. So there you go, guys. It's a real shame. I was hoping to really enjoy this film. I'm a big Tom Hanks fan. I love Castaway, I love Chappie, and I love The Martian. I had all those bits to it, but they just tried to mash those films all together, and it just didn't really work for me. And as I say, I think it would have worked better as a TV show. But yeah, I would recommend watching it. You should try it out. I think it's worth, it's entertaining for an hour, and I think just 2 hours. But you ain't gonna, you know, it is what it is. It's an average movie. Have her on in the background and be done with your day. So there you go, guys. There is my review of Finch. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and of course, I'll see you in the next one.